So, it's Wednesday afternoon and I'm driving from Hampshire to Alton on an adventure. I'm going to go and pick up something from DHL, which I ordered about a month ago, so that's a fair wait. Apparently DHL can't deliver it to a different address or leave it in the same place because it's got lithium-ion batteries. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently it is. I'm being impatient because I could just wait 3 or 4 days to actually have it until someone said you have it delivered. I don't want to wait 3 or 4 more days, having waited a month. So I'm going over to Reading to go to DHL and pick it up. Thankfully, DHL have managed to ship this successfully all the way from Shenzhen, China to Reading. So I reckon I can manage to make the last bit of the journey.
Of course it was buried under the thing. Alright. Well, so you just straddle your finger as best you can.
Perfect. So half looks like it. Brilliant. Thank you so much.
That's alright.
Have a lovely day. You've made my day. Mission complete. I have my parcel. I'm going to go home and I'm going to unwrap it. Also, apparently, Toys R Us now opening. Who knew? So either the company has been taken over and I had no idea, or somebody made a really bad bit of timing with when to open a brand new Toys R Us. Who knew? So last night I went and got the Ronin, and it's fantastic and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, but of course once I'd set it up and unpacked it and updated it, it was too dark to do any filming. So I decided to wait until today, and I got a few shots with it, and I want to give you my feedback on how it works and how it works with the Nikon D500, because that was one of the major concerns that I had. So what I would say is it works. When they initially announced it back a few months ago, before they shipped it, they said, yeah, it will work with every camera ever, everything will be perfect, it's going to be brilliant. And then very quickly they said, it doesn't work with every camera, and we've slashed a whole lot of the list to be able to say what it works on and what it doesn't work on. And Nikon particularly suffered, Sony suffered, but Nikon, it was only saying the D850, I think one other Nikon, would actually work. So D500, I was slightly trepidatious, thinking, will it work, will it actually function, will it do what I want it to do? And the good news is, yes it does. Officially, according to GoPro's own statistics or own fact sheet, it says that with the D500 you'll only be able to, essentially I think it says actually you can only use it as a gimbal. It says that none of the controls on the gimbal itself will actually work, such as starting recording and focusing and all of those sorts of things. And I tried it, and the good news is it does work. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I'm hoping that there will be an update to it fairly soon, but it balances brilliantly. The footage is super smooth. I'm really happy with that. When you plug the cable in, initially it all seems a bit scary, because basically the panel on top suddenly just displays PC, the screen on the back goes completely blank, and then within a few seconds you're able to press the live view button again and you get your screen back. But it is missing a whole lot of the controls and the information that would normally be expected on that screen. So it looks a little bit weird, but the good news is you can start and stop recording, and you can focus. You can't change any of the settings on the camera once it's plugged in. You have to make sure that your settings are where you want them to be before you start recording, but that should be fairly straightforward. And you can start and stop recording really straightforwardly, which makes life a lot easier. The focus works to some extent. The pull focus thing, you can get it to change focus points, but it's not smooth. I was really hoping for a nice, beautiful, smooth, rolling pull and push focus, but it just steps. So you can see from this footage here, it will step between points. What seems to happen, and I'm not 100% sure, but it almost seems to jump between autofocus points. So actually, it'll often jump from what's in the background being in focus to what's in the foreground being focused. I may have just been lucky, it may be that it was actually just doing it in standard steps, and the two things that I had in focus just happen to be that distance apart. But it does work. It makes it easier to focus, because otherwise trying to focus on the camera when it's mounted on the Ronin is a little bit tricky, and Nikons do not have the greatest autofocus in the world. They do tend to hunt a little bit. But it works absolutely fine. The only slightly scary moment I had was when I tried to take a photo. So you take a photo by pressing and holding the record button, and when you do that, essentially I thought I'd bricked the camera, because the whole thing just goes black and you can't get any access to anything. It still says PC on the top, and you can't actually access any settings or functions or get it to do anything. What I discovered was I turned it off, I turned it back on again, and then took a couple of pictures. It seems to obviously lock up the mirror. And as soon as that's freed up, it then just goes back into the same mode. So it's not brilliant for taking pictures on the Ronin, but I didn't buy the Ronin for taking pictures. I bought it for taking video, surprisingly enough. So I don't expect to have to worry about that too often, but it is something worth bearing in mind. Hope this has been really helpful. I know that I spent a long time searching for Nikon D500 and Ronin S stuff to find out what was going on when I first started, and essentially I was getting a lot of conflicting information, but hopefully this sort of sets the record straight in terms of what I have experienced. And I hope it's helpful to you. If it was, please like the video, please subscribe, and I actually have a 2-week series on videography, photography, and getting great images coming up in a couple of weeks. So every day there'll be 2 videos on a whole range of photography and videography concepts, so getting great flower images, getting great fitness images, how to use aperture, how to use shutter speed, how to compose your pictures, how to film yourself, how to edit videos, photos, that sort of stuff. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to stay up to date, and thank you very much for watching.